T20 test on one day. India, England, Australia. The bowler, lucky, big three-side slayer. What a player! What a player! What a player!
Welcome back, everybody, to Waadaplaya Concussion Sub Series. T20 International Series between India and Sri Lanka just got started. So it's a three-match series, and India had a convincing victory, even though I felt that they were 20, 30 runs short. But in the end, it was a convincing victory. To review the game today, we got Vishak and Syed back into action. Welcome, boys.
Thanks,
Hi,
Suman.
Suman.
Excellent. So, first things first, Varun Chakravarthy finally fit to play T20. Are you guys happy?
Yeah, good for him. Actually, he's gone. He was picked for 2 or 3 series before. Once he was, so he did failed the yo-yo test, and once after when he went to Australia, it was like he was not fit to be here. He got injured. So finally, I think he got selected, and he also got a game, which is good, and he performed decently as well. So except those 2 sixes, if you take away from Charith Asalanka, I think he bowled pretty decently.
So, what went wrong for Sri Lanka? 164 was chaseable, Syed, isn't it? Like I said, we were about 20, 30 short.
Correct. So I thought that probably a 180 would have been a par score, considering that it was a good toss for win for Sri Lanka. They chased it, rightly so. But I felt there was a bit of smart bowling in the middle overs from India, and also the inexperience of middle order of Sri Lanka was exposed. So probably the batsmen went for slog too early, where they should have. So I understand that Asalanka was playing well, and you just need a partner for them to rotate strike and build that partnership. So I think that was something which was missing, which was clearly evident. Had this been an established country like West Indies or Australia or England, who have heavy middle order, probably this would have been a easy chase or a close finish kind of a game.
Yeah. I think the Sri Lanka inexperience definitely is showing up. And to India's benefit, I think they're capitalizing on that. Even though we were short, I think, like you said, in between, Chahal's form also is a good positive sign. He got a wicket, was economical. Varun Chakravarthy was slightly expensive for an over or so, but I think the middle overs that squeezing of runs definitely came through. Couple of areas of concern, Vishak. One is, of course, Prithvi Shaw got a debut for T20, got out first ball. Should we be worried, or do you think this is the state of the game and we should just move on?
I think his footwork is definitely a case of concern. If you see the way he played the ball, had he had a better footwork, maybe he would have middled it. He was actually reaching out for the ball with very minimal footwork. I agree, it was a very good ball to get first up. The ball swung. It is not the natural length of Chamira. He usually bowls back of a length. And today he bowled a little fuller and he got it to swing. And getting such a good ball very first up is a raw deal actually. But definitely it was not unplayable for me. With better footwork, he could have definitely played it better. And coming to Hardik Pandya, I think his batting form has been a little bit of a concern. Even in the IPL, he was not that great, if you see. And we need him to be in good shape going into the T20 World Cup. We need some overs from him. Also, he needs to be in because I think he is a good fit for the T20 for the T20s at least. So, and if he can strike form with the bat, he can give you those late order runs. And especially today, it didn't hurt much because it was Sri Lanka and the inexperience they didn't bat well. But against a very good side, such slow batting at the death, 5 overs, the last 5 overs, we just got 43 runs. That would have definitely hurt us against very good teams.
So, is this the case of same like Pujara? One game he's the all-time great, another game we want to drop Pujara in test. Is it Hardik Pandya same? Why are we even questioning his skill set?
No, I feel looking at how he performed in Australia, he was the man of the series there on a fast, pacey wickets, right? But if you look at what happened after that, we had IPL, one in UAE and also India, right? And we are also going to have, so these Sri Lankan wickets are similar to that, slow-paced wickets, two-paced, and you kind of have this slower balls coming into contention, right? But what I also feel is probably the teams have figured out the game of Hardik Pandya. If you look at anything on the slot area, anything on the good length area was whacked by Hardik Pandya in the previous series. But if you look at even in the IPL, the hard lengths and the ones which are slower, where it comes to him, where he has a higher back left. So when he tries to go hard, he's not able to connect it. So probably Hardik has to sit back, because UAE is going to be the venue for T20, which is similar to what he's seeing now. So probably he has to quickly figure out his game, see how we can work on it, maybe come down the track or move a little bit to disturb the line. But I feel that bowlers are bowling smart to him, knowing his strengths. And that is something which Hardik has to figure out in this coming IPL.
Another thing which I noticed is their bowlers have become smart. They're bowling to him outside the off stump, and bowling length balls or fuller balls outside the off stump. So, and his major hitting area is over the leg side. He doesn't hit that much through the offside. So he has to literally drag while he is actually playing such shots. So that is where I think bowlers have also become a little smarter, and they're not giving him that balls in the hitting zone. And if you see, he actually hangs a little late. He stands near the stumps almost, waiting for that fuller delivery so that he can pick those Yorkers as half volleys and hit it. That was some adjustment which he had made, and bowlers have figured that out.
Next point, which JPK is in full form today. He says Ishan Kishan batting order. I definitely think our combination of whether it is playing 11 or batting order needs some stability. This is fourth game, and we don't know who are the top 1, 2, 3, 4 batters so far. Any thoughts there?
So I feel it's about chances as of now, if you look at in the current situation, because we had too many middle order. So for sure, it's going to be Dhawan and Prithvi opening. I felt probably Sky could have come one down, considering if you see, it was always this left-right combination which we were going on. So Samson came. But I felt at this current situation, on a middle order, if you go for Manish Pandey or Ishan Kishan, any day, I'll with the current form, I'll go with Ishan Kishan. And he proved that 20 crucial runs. He was good that we had that 14 ball 20 from him. Which I felt was good. So at this point of time, I would say he getting the chances and trying to prove whatever chances he's getting, rather than the push-in, because we know for sure when it comes to World Cup, probably the openers are going to be Dhawan, KL and Rohit. And considering Virat also has an option to open himself, then that 4 or 5 slots with Sky and Pant, definite choices. This is going to be a very tight-packed middle order for India. So I think whatever chances he gets, try and stabilize his position in the team will be the best option for him.
And Syed and I were talking off air that JPK CC Dhawan for the post of Shaw and Sky going to England. Are they going or are they not going? It's all confusing. Whereas Dhawan says he did not get any BCCI notification. Again, is this a classic Ravi Shastri Virat Kohli communication gap?
I think nothing is made clear here. They're saying some newspapers are reporting that there are 3 players which are going along with this. Jayant Yadav is also going, but I think the communication has to be clear even to this manager and even to the team in Sri Lanka, so that they can plan and strategize accordingly. So they're losing out on 2 players who played in the 11 today, if that is the case. So they should be given the news upfront, and they should be told how to go about in the series, because it's in the middle of a series. And I don't think they will, according to me, I don't think they would be going in the middle of the series, because they have to get their visas as well, right? So visa processing will take a little bit of time again. So I think they will for me, I would feel like it would be like they'll kind of continue with the series. It's just a matter of another 4 days at the max, and then they can travel.
And Anil Jain rightly pointing it out, it will be unfair on Dhawan's part, pulling out a couple of players in between. And we've also spoken during Sabah Karim and Vijay Sir's episode. There is a squad and every expert has been already picked for England. So what happens to their confidence? What happens to Dhawan? Is again looking at Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli episode about communication. Definitely there's something going on in BCCI which we are not privy to. Shastri communication gaps, good vibes. Okay, from Sri Lanka perspective, they shouldn't be too disappointed, because if you look at their bowling performance, first 15 overs, the game was not in their control. For the last 5 overs, they pulled it back really nicely. What would have been in 190, 200 score. And even batting until until Avishka. Is it Avishka who was scoring
Lanka.
decently well? They were on course to win this game, so they shouldn't be too disappointed with this.
Yeah, I think they're pulling it together. Being in home definitely gives that confidence that they can try and somehow pull a miraculous win. I think last uh, one day match which they won would have definitely given that confidence to them, and they also know that these youngsters are bound to make those wrong shots. So today we saw that at a very crucial point, Sky got out, which I felt if it was a traditional or a older period batsman after the 50 he would have bent and got a single of the drive, but without being in the position to play that shot, it was just lifted over for a catch, right? So that is something will definitely be on Sri Lanka's mind, considering that how Hardik Pandya has been tied down when it comes to the late end finishes. They definitely would have sensed it, but this again, the middle order was one of the concern, and our bowlers bowled a smart middle over phase, which actually got us a win.
Okay. And Vishak, I think Ajay PK is referencing to the fantasy team. Who was your best pick from Sri Lanka?
I think we had Hasaranga and Avishka Fernando. I think those were the two best picks. And I think from this game also, I think they did pretty well. And Asalanka again was a bright spot. He continued his form from the ODIs into the T20s, just like how Sky did. But again, I was disappointed with Sky today. After scoring so fluently, getting a 50, he had to carry on. And I think his dismissal cost us around 15 to 20 runs at the back end. Definitely, if Addy stayed, instead of that 43, would have got around 65 or something. So that is a difference of around 20 runs. And we would have ended up somewhere around 185, which would have been a. This was actually a pass score, what we got, 163, because the pass score in Colombo in T20s is around 160. So we just got 4 runs extra than that. So that 180 would have been an above par score rather than getting a par score. That is what we had to aim at. And in the end, like the batters who came in after that, Hardik Pandya did not get any momentum, and it is harsh on Krunal Pandya to come and tell him to come and hit right from the first ball. Just he faced down 3 or 4 balls. So I think Surya Kumar Yadav, and mind you, this is all big grounds. Couple of shots which Sri Lankan cricketers played, they middled them, and it was caught in the boundary. Had it been some Indian grounds or somewhere in Sharjah, they would have easily sailed for 6. So
Good points. Yeah, Sri Lanka shouldn't be disappointed at all. I think the big difference between the current Sri Lanka side and the India side touring is a couple of experienced players like Bhuvi and Dhawan. If you minus that experience from India, it's evenly poised. And I was expecting a pretty one-sided series, but one days we have seen it is not one-sided. They are giving a fight. First T20 we have seen they've given a fight. So the more they play, the better it is what we would be seeing Sri Lanka for. Um, from next game perspective, would you foresee any changes? Devdutt Padikkal, is it harsh him not getting a chance?
I don't think any changes would be there. Probably Chahar getting a chance, maybe, because one thing I liked is Chahal's performance, right? So I think in back of his mind, he knows that Rahul Chahar has been knocking down his place. If few bad performance from Chahal might be taken over by the Rahul Chahar's spin. So right. So I think Chahal knows that, and he's been improving upon his skills. We saw that in ODI as well, and rightly third ODI when it was replaced, Rahul Chahar picked 3 wickets, and that's what probably going to happen in the next 2 matches. Maybe Rahul Chahar would have given a chance, but I would like to see Varun Chakravarthy playing all 3 matches. One thing is when he plays or he's picked up to the T20 World Cup, I could see there might be a good balance when it comes to the death overs, right? So we know that Bumrah is going to be one of the bowler for us in the death, but who's going to be the other one or the next 2, right? So looking at what the form is going by, Shami, Hardik Pandya, or Deepak Chahar himself. So I'm not sure if it's going to be a great idea to have those paces, right? So in Varun Chakravarthy in the mix, being fit, probably could bring in those crucial 2-3 overs within below 10 runs of death overs. So I think that would be a good choice, provided he keeps bowling well and has a good IPL as well.
Who would, if you want to bring Rahul Chahar, who would you replace? Varun Chakravarthy did decently well. Chahal did decently well. Bhuvi 4 wickets, and Deepak Chahar. I don't think we should drop. So who would you drop to bring
I
in?
don't think I don't think from the bowling point of view they'll make any changes to the second T20. If we win that, maybe Chahal might be dropped and Chahar might get a look in. I think Varun Chakravarthy should play all the three games to give him more confidence. I think he bowled pretty decently today. And I think if Shah and Surya Kumar Yadav are going, then DDP might get a chance. So that could be the only change which could happen. And if instead of Surya Kumar Yadav, I hate to say this, but Manish Pandey might come in.
Interesting. If Surya Kumar Yadav and Prithvi Shaw do go to England, I think Manish Pandey does stand a chance. So Harsha Bogle tweeted about this as well, Syed and Vishak, and I'm interested to get both of your thoughts. Should Rahul Chahar go to T20 World Cup? Yes or no answer?
Yes.
Yes.
He is a very good prospect. Even if you see over the last 3 years, he has been performing very consistently across all the formats. And even if you see for Rajasthan, where he plays his domestic circuit as well, he has been performing pretty well. In the IPL, he is one of the top. He is the top spinner in 2021 currently. He is the spinner with the top most wickets. And even then, if you see the first ODI, the way he bowled, right, with his variations and the way he was foxing the batsman, that's what you need in the middle overs. And I was pretty impressed with Chahal also today. He was slowing the ball. He was slowing the game. He was slowing the ball up, and he was making the batsman to go for the shots. So that was good. Considering it looked like the old Chahal. But only problem with Chahal is like he doesn't have a plan B, as I have already mentioned previously, that he doesn't have a plan B when batsmen figure him out and start going after him. That is only problem. That is something he needs to figure out.
Okay. And Syed, question from Ajay: who will open if Shaw goes to England? Is it DDP?
Devdutt should definitely get a chance considering his form recently. He's been proving last 2 years in the domestic circuit. And there's also one more opener, which we all forgot, Rituraj Gaikwad as well. Between them, probably one of them might get a chance because I've seen the matches previously going by that left and right hand combination is what the team is preferring. Even if you look at today, one down Samson came, but usually if you see in the England series, Ishan Kishan was coming in. Going by that, probably one match, if at all it's confirmed that Shah is going to not play the next 2 matches, maybe give a match to DDP and then last match probably let Dhawan sit and Hardik or Bhuvneshwar Kumar can take over. It's all about chances when you won the series, right? So probably that can be the case.
Yeah, for me, I think India is best placed. These are all good problems, even though we are being critical of them. Bear in mind, we have close to 45 players playing international cricket right now, which is outstanding depth. But the risk of this, so much depth, is losing the team combination. That's what I'm concerned about, and especially lots at stake in the next 6 months or so, whether it is T20 World Cup, whether there are international tours. As long as selectors and Shastri and Virat keep that in mind, that we should not lose the original combination of bowling, all-rounders, keepers, and batters, I think this depth will go a long way. And another risk we will run into is, form is important, but also giving chances to people at the right time, like Rahul Chahar going to T20 World Cup, will be such a huge confidence for him, and it'll be play long run for India. If he doesn't go, we might be at a risk of maybe he's not coping with playing for India anymore. So never know, we will lose that talent. So time will tell. Last question, which is also playing on my mind. I think Ajay Peak is reading my mind. Do you think Dhawan will make it to the World Cup T20 squad?
Considering his form in the IPL and the recent form, I think he has improved his strike rate. He's not the same batsman whom used to anchor the innings. I think he is batting better now. I think he's
playing almost a match-losing innings he was playing.
I don't think so. I think that was the innings that was required at that point of time. 42 of 30 at almost a 140 strike rate. I think it was both. You don't need both the batsmen to go bang bang. And you need at least one player who can play that steady innings in the middle overs. That's what I think he was doing. And if you look at the start, I think he actually in the power play he batted pretty well. He scored some shots. He actually maximized the power. India was 50 for 1, I think, in the power play. So that was a good power play, and I think Dhawan played a crucial part in that as well. But I think we already have a lot of openers. But if it's a squad of 15 or 16, I think Dhawan does not make it. But considering we'll be going with a larger pool, definitely Dhawan should make the cut.
Syed?
So I want Dhawan to be definitely an S mainly because of a left and right hand combination. Even though if he doesn't start 11, still being in the squad adds a lot of experience. And if Dhawan doesn't play, let's say it is Rohit and KL and Virat, Surya Kumar. So you're looking at all right-handers where every team has leg spinner and the round-arm spinners in action, right? So Dhawan being there, that what happens is if Dhawan is not there, probably we're looking at punt to come into 1 down or a 2 down when we need quick runs, right? So probably with Dhawan being in the mix, definitely adds a value. And don't forget, he has great records in ICC tournaments. So if you look at, he always comes good in those big tournaments. So we would want him to do well as well. So that is something which I would say. So Dhawan definitely in the mix is good.
He should be good, but I don't think he'll make the starting lineup because Rahul has been in terrific form.
Correct.
I think Rahul will open initially, but if Rohit Sharma is indispensable in all the 3 formats now, so that is something which will keep Dhawan out of the 11. But I think definitely he will make the cut.
Excellent. Great. Syed and Vishak, good end to a Sunday. Lots of cricket going on, India winning, and lots to look forward for. Thank you for your time. Really, really appreciate your insights as usual. For folks who were watching live, Anil Jain, Ajay PK, thanks for your engagement. Really encouraging. And to our subscribers and viewers, thanks to continued support. Stay safe. And
one thing,
sure,
which we forgot, Bhuvi is bowling today.
Who
I
is
think
bowling?
that's something we need to talk about, I guess.
4 for
So
22.
I think, 4 for 22, he was the man of the match. And his first wicket in the death since August 2019. So something that was some stat actually. So I think it's good that he is coming into his own now. His form would be very crucial for India going into and I think he'll be one of the crucial bowlers if he bowls well in the depth, which he was doing a couple of years back and which has lost a bit because of he's lost some of the pace now. He's bowling at around 125 to 130. So if he adds a little more layer of pace to his bowling, I think he'll be effective in the depth.
It's huge factor for confidence. Wickets are wickets. And Syed and I were talking off air before the show. Even though they were tail-ender wickets or not so renowned batsmen, I think this will add up to the confidence of Bhuvi. Hopefully, he continues to stay fit, which is the bottom line, which is good for India and Sunrisers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Really, really appreciate it. Hopefully, you get some rest for the rest of the Sunday night. And see you next time on next episode. We'll be back on the second T20 international between Sri Lanka and India again. India is 1 up in a 3-match series. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Thanks, Suman. Bye.